Hello, I'm Mark Dietrich, a senior advisor with the EGI Foundation, a partner in the European Commission-funded Horizon Cloud project. H-Cloud was established to consider the future of cloud computing in Europe. The H-Cloud project examines obstacles to cloud adoption in Europe and proposes strategic actions to increase adoption, accelerate digital transformation, and enable the hoped-for socioeconomic and environmental benefits. Our conclusions are captured in our strategic analysis and a companion strategic research, innovation, and deployment agenda. We welcome your feedback on both documents, one-on-one or through online consultations that will happen in February 2022. You can also link from each one of these videos to an online survey where you can pick the most important recommendations. We have organized our findings and our recommendations into 7 sections, illustrated in this diagram, each with a video overview like this one. Let's look at digital transformation and the first pillar of our model, becoming data aware. Data could come from 3 major sources: inside the organization, particularly inside the organization's current office; from the field, outside the head office, in branches, on the factory floor, from the network or grid; from trucks, trains, and planes, and even literally from farmers' fields; from other organizations, from suppliers and buyers, from government, and from partners in business ecosystems. Accessing and using data from each of these sources has its challenges, which we address in 3 major areas of analysis. Internal data increasingly involves sensitive data, particularly personal data. For example, when organizations want to create a single version of the truth for customers, that 360-degree view, this can assemble personal data from many silos and increase the risk of inappropriate treatment. So we need tools and processes for respecting and maintaining data sovereignty and privacy rights. Everyone knows that the GDPR requires personal data to be handled in a prescribed manner, but there are many other categories of data that need special treatment. Unfortunately, the tools needed to ensure this kind of data is handled in the right way are not well developed. Now let's look at the edge. The edge is a major source of data that is increasingly important for organizations to access and process efficiently. This is where IT meets OT, or operations technology. We need mature technologies, standards, and technical ecosystems for collecting and processing data at the edge. Almost every sector can identify important categories of data sitting out in the field, requiring effective use of edge technologies for access and processing. Municipal assets, data on vehicles of all kinds, energy generation, processing, storage, transmission, and distribution, connecting isolated medical devices and monitoring equipment throughout hospitals and clinics, discrete and continuous manufacturing equipment, plus the smart products themselves, tagging of livestock, food safety tracking, harvesters, milking machines. Finally, accessing data from partners depends on their willingness to share their data and their ability to share that data in a secure and trustworthy way. Supports are needed both to encourage and to enable secure, trustworthy data sharing. We need model value propositions for data sharing to encourage organizations to participate in data ecosystems. We need tools to support assessment of the shareability of each item of data, and we need to harmonize and clarify relevant legislation and regulations. Tools are needed to help organizations prepare their data for sharing. For example, scanning databases for copyrighted material that might be on the web. We need reusable models for the governance of data ecosystems. We need secure and trusted IT solutions for those same data ecosystems. And finally, we need to enable secure sharing of large or very sensitive data, for example, satellite data or simulation data sets. Many of these topics are being addressed by organizations like GaiaX, the International Data Spaces Association, FIWARE, and the Big Data Value Association, and progress has been made. But more work is needed to make data sharing a regular activity for most organizations. To improve data awareness in EU organizations, the H-Cloud project has developed a range of recommendations for the research community, for policymakers and for the organizations themselves and the cloud sector. You can add your voice to this discussion by voting for those recommendations in this area that are the most significant for you and your organization. Hopefully this overview and summary will give you a new perspective on the challenges facing cloud computing in Europe and the critical role it can play in Europe's digital future. We encourage you to take a more detailed look at our draft report, and we look forward to your feedback and comments.